Kelly Pavlik, James Dominguez. The Punchline. Boxing's most interesting talk show. Puts you in the ring.
You're here on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
You were on after the bell.
After the bell. And man, we're gonna continue the paranormal. You know, we've yet to get a guest that actually has done it.
Part 2.
Yeah, but we got a guest today that we're gonna have on. We're gonna see, some of her experiences. She works in the medical field.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there has been some things that may have happened or that she caught.
You mean she has direct experience?
I don't know. She's seen some stuff happen. I don't know. Maybe she was not even sober. I don't know. But, that's not how the show works. We just throw people on. It's bullshit.
That's another thing, too.
We pulled this guest out of her ass. And we brought her on because of her name. Her name is April Kuntz-Hood.
Yeah. Mm. And, maybe we're wrong on pronouncing her last name. We'll let her pronounce it. She's going to fix it. But
it sounds like Hood.
Yeah, I think it is Hood.
I'm a college-educated man, and I can read Hood when I look at it.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I'm sure we'll touch on some other things, too. But mainly right now, we could get started with...
I got one question for our producer. Do we fall under FCC at all?
No. But
Okay, good.
Well, if that's her last name, that's her last name.
Yeah, it's true.
If that's her legitimate name, then
okay,
how can that be wrong to say?
I have a buddy now. This is honest to God truth, man. I have a friend, and he goes by. He's kind of like a clown. All right, so he jokes around a lot, and his name is Rick Drips. But on his driver's license, he has it as Drips.
Oh, I didn't think of the yeah.
Wow. So like in other words, what you're saying, if I was sitting here reading his ID, which is his real legal name, and I said, Drips, I can't get in trouble by anything. That's the kid's name.
That's true. That's his name.
And I'm not saying that he has any certain type of disease or STD or anything. His name is Drips.
I was in the Army with a guy named Mike, and I loved it. Because then they'd go, why don't you listen to what my cock says? And we'll just fucking fall out. We just fall out laughing when they say
That's another one, actually. That's funny you brought that up. My old cornerman, his name was Mike. Okay? Yeah. And if you say it real fast, it sounds like Mike.
Yeah.
Well, I fought on a Spanish channel, and they were speaking earlier in my career, and he kept always saying, "Don't write down Mike Cox, put Michael Cox," and because of that reason. And then they were doing like sound check because it was early in my career, and I wasn't even on TV yet, and they were doing a sound check, and they were rambling on in Spanish, and then you hear Mike, and you hear him go, "Ah!" So we started laughing.
Remember, like the soccer? Did you see the World Cup? Every time that Mexico would score a goal, they'd say,
"Oh." I didn't see that. Yeah, I thought that was funny. So yeah, Mike.
Don't parents think about that? I mean, you'd think, honey, let's name our kid Michael Cox. Mm-hmm. That's a great name. We should do that. He won't ever get made fun of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's going on with that?
You would actually think that they would take that time out, think that through. I know when me and my wife had our kids, the first thing I thought was, maybe that name doesn't go the best with that name.
Maybe people were just cleaner back in the day.
Maybe no one thought Mike, but that was he was born probably late 70s. People were filthy in the 70s.
Yeah. They were all high as bird.
Yeah, the 70s was a filthy time, you know what I mean? Bunch of braggarts going from port to port.
James Dominguez,
Hey, they don't even know my name in Spanish, what my grandma calls me.
Domas.
Jaime Federico Agustin Dominguez.
Holy shit toast.
Wow. That's really what it is, yeah.
Let's do that one again. That's awesome.
Jaime Federico Agustin Dominguez. That's how it said, my name in Spanish. But we just cut out the Federico and the whole Agustin thing. We just make it Fred. We go all American on this name.
Sounds very royal.
I would say more like Jimenez. Dominguez.
That's too Arabic.
That's true. But all right, well let's get the show rolling, man.
Do you have April's phone number?
No, I don't.
Oh, you figured I would, huh?
Yeah, you talk to her all the time.
With the name like, don't you think I would have her number?
I think everybody in Youngstown, Osstown has her number though.
I'm gonna call her right now.
And there it is.
Watch her don't answer because she thinks it's a bill collector.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
This is Rent-A-Center. We need you to make a payment. She hung up because I said this is Rent-A-Center.
Hello.
You are on the Punchline after the bell.
With Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
Yes.
And for the listeners, we're going to be getting into talking about ghosts and paranormal. And our guest right now is April Kuntz-Hood.
April Kuntz-Hood.
We've been having a hard time. We were talking about that on the show, how to pronunciate your last name. How do you pronunciate it? Kuntz.
And what's the other part?
Yes. Kuntz.
Yeah, well, on Facebook you
April
have...
Kuntz-Hood.
Yeah, you had two names on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kuntz-Hood.
You could just say April Hood. You could use that. That's good.
Okay.
We like Kuntz-Hood better.
We like Kuntz-Hood. You sound more efficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so April Kuntz-Hood. How's everything been going? What's your day going like right now?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Beautiful weather. Nice day. Things going good. How about you guys?
We're doing good. You know, like the big thing is that our listeners don't understand is that's how big this show is, and people want to get on it. Is jokingly right now, April Kuntz-Hood is at work and she's taking the time out to be on the show.
She's on the show. Yes.
Yes.
But we won't say where she is working at.
But I will tell people if they want to donate $1.
Yeah. Okay. No, nothing like that.
So, Hood, our thing right now is
I'm laughing because I don't know if Kelly's getting this right with being or Kuntz. I don't know how he's pronouncing.
I think it's his accent. He just says it that way.
I'm sorry. No, we were going over it so much earlier before we got on the air that it's kind of just like repetitious.
It's Kuntz-Hood.
Kuntz-Hood.
Yeah,
Kuntz. Yeah, with the high Kuntz.
Kuntz. Okay.
Like Dean Koontz, the writer.
Okay. Kuntz.
Or like Marilyn, the porn star.
Well, what was your question? Yeah. What was your question, James?
My question was, we were going to talk about the paranormal, and really April had the coolest stories when we talked about that after the last show. She was like, I want to be on your show. I have such cool stories. I'm like, all right, April, we'll see. We're going to give her a shot. We're going to see what she has for us.
Yeah, go ahead, April. What was one of the biggest ones that you've seen or experienced?
Oh, I've experienced a lot of things, and I'm not one that to chase ghosts and all that kind of thing. I'm one that just it happens to me. And I mean, James and me have spoke a couple of times. I think James even experienced like that sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, I did.
Waking up and feeling like you just can't move and you're just stuck, and it's a very scary feeling. A lot of people I know have had that same experience, and it's not good. I've lived in a couple of houses that some strange things have happened, and actually one caused me to move over in Lake Milton. We had some weird things happen, doors opening and closing. We've had some doorknobs just going crazy. We're standing in the kitchen and slamming down. Things have broken, and I actually kind of have this feeling I know something's around, and I get these little the whole chills and the all that kind of deal with it. And we were out in Lake Milton living, and I was standing out in the driveway one day, and I heard a bunch of little kids, and they were all in school, and I heard a bunch of little kids playing in my living room. Mm-hmm. And I was out talking to a relative of mine in the driveway, and I said, oh, that's kind of weird. All the kids are at school, and I hear all of these kids in my living room, and I hear the dog barking, because they also say animals can kind of sense when something's going on with that.
Something's awry.
Right. And so I hear the dog barking, and I kind of walked into the house, and I seen some of my knickknacks and stuff broken in front of the door, and I see the dog is propped up with both paws on the couch as if somebody was petting her, and there's nobody on the couch. So, I mean, I'm not one, like I said, to chase the ghost. I get scared when it comes to things like this. I easily back up, and I walked outside, and I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here until somebody else is home. I've had to where things have gotten a little worse, where, bad things they say will smell bad. The spirits or whatever will have a good smell. Like I smelled pineapples in my house, and I smelled vanilla, and I had where I've got pictures when I've had these certain scents in my home, and where there's white orb and there's like, kind of like ghostly mists and stuff like that, and it's just a lot of what?
What does a bad ghost smell like? Like, what does the evil spirit smell like to you?
They say it's just kind of like a foul, like a really foul, just a horrible type of odor, like a dead animal or, just something rotten is what like a
Yeah, you know what's weird is, when I have very limited experience with that, but I've seen a few things, but I usually can sense the intent of the ghost or the spirit. I can sense that before I even see it or feel it. Do you know what I mean? But I can sense intent.
Yeah,
right.
Don't they say something like, you'll get like a deeper feeling or like a chest or hard to breathe with pressure.
Absolutely.
But what I tend to get is more sad or depressed. Because I'm not a depressed person by nature or a sad person. But what I'll do is I'll get that feeling earlier in the day, and then.
Oh, they can definitely like manipulate you. They say, sure. I've had them to where I know when I was little, I can sense at my grandmother's house, and I felt like something was chasing me, and I'd hurry up and use the bathroom and whatnot, and I'd come running down her steps, and she used to yell at me, "Why you're going to fall down the steps? Why are you running?" But I didn't want to ever tell her. I feel like something's behind me, that sort of thing. But I've been touched. I've been kind of like I've had those sleep paralysis, which is like 3 times happened to me. I don't mess with anything evil, anything like that, and it's just kind of weird who they pick, I guess. I don't know.
On that right there, like what I want to always ask people is like, have you that house that you're at? In, what was it, Lake Milton? Did you have any history on the house though? I mean, do you know if anybody had passed there? Because usually people, you ask them. I think. From what I heard now from one of my realtors was it has to be put in if somebody had passed away in the house or if something had happened in the house. I think it has to be, brought up to the buyer. I think it's a law now, to be honest with you, but I don't think it was back then. When I'm saying back then, I'm not talking about, anybody's old.
The past couple of years.
Yeah, just the past couple of years, but did you know or hear of anything happening there, before you guys moved in or something on that property? Maybe where the house
we did not, and I tried to research if there was anything, that on my own, behalf to see was there anything that had happened in the house, but there wasn't. But with you saying that, Kelly, I remember that we were going to buy a house one time over in Hubbard area. And the realtor, we went in and we were speaking with the realtor, and I instantly had gotten that feeling that James was talking about of being, how scared or like, that kind of eerie, icky feeling, James, that dark feeling. And I had asked the realtor, I said, I'm sorry to ask you this, but did somebody pass in this house? And she looked at me and she said, there was somebody that passed in the house. Now, she didn't really reveal that information until I had asked her. And I said, So I walked out the door, and I remember my husband was so upset at the time. He really wanted the house. And I said, there's no way I'm moving into this house.
Like I was going to tell Kelly, not for nothing, but the house that, when I first moved here, I stayed in one of Kelly's childhood homes that, that the family has, So they said, hey, stay there until we find a place. Well, a couple houses down from there, the son and the mother had both passed in this house. And I'm thinking to myself, okay. So I pulled in one night after we went to, they were playing darts at Civics, Kelly's Dart League. So I pull in and I see lights in this house, crazy lights, like white and blue and just like different lights all over the place in that house.
There's probably cops in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it could have been cops.
Right.
The lights that I was referring to were not human lights. They were different. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It was enough to make me start thinking about moving right now. Like,
yeah, with that, what he's saying, that house, the incident that happened was weird, and the couple that the father and son that was living there, and they both passed at the same time. We had a mother and a son, and I'm not to pick on anybody. I'm not picking on anybody that's deceased, but it was strange. And then they found them both dead from natural causes. That happened. I was young. I was only about 9 years old. We always, even when I was got older and I was living there, I'd walk to my garage.
Did your dad find the body?
Yeah, he didn't find it. He smelt them, and he called. The door was open, and he smelt death, and he called.
Oh wow!
Because it was weird not to see the guy, or you never seen his mom, but it was just weird not to see him. He was always outside, or walking to the store or something. and nobody's seen him for days. And that was the part that when he went over, he was able to smell it through the screen door. And it was summertime too, so it was like July.
No air conditioning.
Yeah, they were in no air conditioning. They were in there for 4 days, so damn well, you could smell it. And so, like I was saying, as we got older, it was kind of at some points it was like, hey, I dare you to go sit over on Steve's front step, or go over and try to do this. And I'd walk to the garage and go get like a baseball bat or my glove, go play. And I wouldn't even want to look over at the house. You just had the creeps. And people moved in. People moved in after.
But they didn't stay.
They didn't stay long at all. I'm talking about maybe at the most, I think the longest anybody lived there was 2 months.
Wow.
They were gone.
I'll tell you what, great story. What wasn't great for me, like I said, I was kind of new to the whole ghost thing. And I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. This was about 2001. I know it was right before September 11th. Anyway, some roommates down the hall, because the way they make these new barracks aren't like the old ones where everybody sleeps together. They're like little apartments. Well, since I was at NCO at the time, I had my own room. Well, I seen these soldiers. They were playing with this Ouija board. A couple girls and a couple guys. They're like, hey, come over and play with this board with us. I'm like, no, man, I'm good, to be honest with you. I said, I don't do that. So I went to my room that night, and I laid down. And I remember I'm laying in my bed, but I'm faced against the wall, and I know Kelly's gonna have something crazy to say, but I felt something in bed with me. You know what I mean? But I know I didn't bring anything back, and I know that door was locked, and I had no roommate. So what happened was, I said, and whatever it was, I could feel it rubbing like on my shoulder and my neck. I knew it wasn't human. I just knew that feeling. So I was telling myself in my head, I'm gonna turn over, but I'm not gonna like what happens. Yeah. So I went to turn over, and all of a sudden I got grabbed. I felt my arms, my wrist being grabbed, and it held me there, and like it snatched the air from me. The only thing I could think in my head was, since I was Catholic, the only thing I could think in my head was the Hail Mary over and over and over again. So I started saying that prayer over. Whatever it was, it released its grip and it left. And I saw the Phoenician blind on my window shake on the way out. Yeah. I looked at my clock, and it was 3:21 a.m. And I still remember that to this day.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, I'm big into that. I got really big into it. I went from being a kid, I was scared of shit. I didn't want to go. If there was a scary movie on, I was under the blankets. I was covering my ears. And then all of a sudden,
tough guy.
Then I got into it though. I'm talking about 6 years ago. I really got into it and wanted to do the TV show and all these crazy things. Because I was still fighting. I had nicknames the Ghost, and I mentioned to a guest not long ago, I wanted to see about getting a TV show called The Real Ghost Hunter and things like that. But, I went on and I researched and looked at it and started reading things. And like James said, he said the Hail Mary and praying and things like that. What I've read on, like, you could do all the things you want. Even priests, when they come in to have them do the exorcism, when it comes to demonic spirits, none of that stuff works. Right. I mean, to a point, it don't work. I believe some priests are able to finally get them out, but it's hard, and a lot of crazy things happen. And that was my only thing that I was afraid of when I would go try to find haunted houses. Like, you may walk in and get some shit that you don't want to.
I know that when we were. Yeah, when you're a kid, you kind of, like James talking about the Ouija board and all that, we didn't know back then anything with that. To me, it was like, okay, friends would get around it, and okay, do we believe this? But somebody be pushing it or whatnot. And I remember we were playing it. We were actually playing outside on a porch area. It wasn't kind of in the house, but it was like, on the porch area. Mm-hmm. And my mom that night, she didn't know. We kept it from her, but we had brought the board back into the house. And when we brought the board back into the house, she woke up screaming that night, and she saw 4 shadow figures standing in front of her with no faces. Wow. And I said, uh-oh. I knew kind of then that it wasn't anything to mess with, and people have a lot of stories and experiences with the Ouija board, but I am not one to mess with that thing either, or even have it in my home.
Well, like they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes,
Exactly, yes, exactly. And then Kelly, with him talking about the being. I have an interest in all of that as well. That's what scares me. Is okay. Am I going to go visit? Because I'd love to go visit one of these places and kind of see if I seen something. You know, I'm intrigued by it, but I don't want anything following me home, clinging to me that's bad, and then having anything going on. I know with a couple of the shows that are out there, some of the actors have had things go on, you know, even at home.
Well, look at the Poltergeist crew. The whole Poltergeist crew died, or something bad happened.
Oh yeah, like
that's true.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't like to mess with that area too. But I have had things that happen to me that I'm not
that you kind of like
asking for.
April, what if you get a spirit that you kind of like though? It shows you more attention than the average human, and you know, at nighttime, everything else, you know.
Hey, do you remember that movie? Do you remember Scary Movie when that ghost crawled into bed with Tori Spelling?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And he looked at her panties, and they said Wednesday, and he looked at the calendar, and they said Friday, and he goes, "What the?"
Yeah.
No, not
you probably
for
won't
me.
be hearing from April after that. April, where you been? I just been at home.
No way.
Didn't she get crazy and start stalking the ghosts? Remember?
Yeah. Well, that sounds something like April would do.
Throwing things at her.
Like when they talk about those incubus and succubus, you know, the ones that can.
That was what jumped on me was succubus. I know it was in a dry spell, but I still wasn't falling for that.
Yeah, James, I don't know, because they supposedly appear very beautiful, and then the guy kind of gets, you know, like hooked on this, and then
but what happened was
an evil witch looking.
Yeah, but I know I kept my eyes closed. I know that, but whatever it was a female nature. You could tell I don't know. You can kind of tell the strength and the way, because I've had that same thing before happen. And whatever the first one was, when I was a teenager, was more of a male. This was more of a female. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt the difference. Yeah. It was still stronger than I was, but I felt the difference. And I remember just...
You know, the only thing that gets me on it sometimes, though, and I'm being dead serious, like, I love it. I wish I could see shit all the time.
No.
But you know, when I'm going looking for it, you know, I don't want to be at my house and seeing shit, you know, all the time. But...
Right.
My thing is, like, these guys, these people with these shows, though, you know, like ghost hunters and things like that.
Right.
These guys go to some of the most haunted places that are possibly out there, you know, that's ever been heard of.
Yeah.
And they go to the houses and everything else, and they're there 3 days, so they say, you know, they're there 3 days. They have all this equipment. It's not like they're going with a bunch of people where things won't manifest, you know, because that has been said, too. If there's too many people, things won't appear, but they never find, or you'll hear like a crew will be, a couple guys from the crew is on one side of the house, a couple guys are on the other side of the house, and you'll hear them say, "Did you hear that?" And you hear like a dink or something.
They do like a base camp or something.
Yeah, what I mean is like all these shows and all these things that happen, you'll see guys with like welts on them or a mark on their arm, but you never really see it happen. It's usually they'll swing to that and show it real quick.
Yeah.
You don't see anything. You never see anything in front of the camera that's on, like something slide across the room. So what kind of gets me on that point of it, though, is like people have seen them. I have witnessed some things that you can't explain. You know, and it wasn't like I just woke up and wiped my eyes. I believe in it, but at the same time, when these guys are in some of the haunted places that you're going to find, and they're walking away,
you think they'd have a little bit more?
Yeah, and they say, "Oh yeah, this place is definitely haunted." And I'm thinking to myself, "Well, how the hell do you really know? Like, how does the watcher know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're telling the truth, but we don't see anything flying across the room on you know, their screen or anything."
My only thing with the show is I don't mind the show; it's good entertainment. But the thing was, they'll be somewhere like in Wales in this castle, and they'll say, "Is anybody there? Who am I talking to?" And a door will slam, and they go, "Oh, your name is William." How the do you know his name was William? His door slammed. You know what I mean? It's William, everybody.
Right.
Like William's just supposed to be there.
Yeah, I want to see a show where you're seeing shit happening. Like,
where you see
this haunted place, and you're there for 3 days and hours a day. So some things are going to happen. Right. You know, that's what I want to see.
I've had it to where I've walked down the steps and I've heard somebody call my name, Mom, and nobody's been, you know, in the house, and I'm like, okay, it just sounded like a normal person, but it was coming out of like one of those closets where, you know how it has like kind of the vent there. Yeah. And I hear it right out there, and I know it's coming from that. And I'm one of these ones, my kids make fun of me all the time because I won't scream or any of that. I just kind of walk like I didn't hear it because part of me's trying to still process what I heard. Yeah. And they kind of make fun of me. And I heard this little boy, this teenage boy say, Mom. And I thought to myself, and this was in my own house at the time, and I said, you know what, if this kid wants to linger around, I mean, I wish I could help him move on if I could, you know, if I had that sort of power, but I said, look, I'm just going to let him go. I'm not going to bother him. He's not going to bother me. But on the darker side of things, like Kelly was saying, you can't really get out of your home. And that's, you know, when they start messing with you, doing like weird things of breaking things. I have an aunt that she's actually had to call in a medium and I think it was Ohio Ghost Research Society or something. They came in and they had did their whole you know, the EVP sessions and all of that. Yeah, all that stuff.
Kelly, we had a great story about the EVP. Remember? Do you remember what I told that girl about her EVP?
But,
oh, yeah.
I'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, she got some good evidence on how, but that's basically what they do is they go in and they say, okay, yeah, we think you're haunted, but we can't help you get it out. You know, it's pretty much what these ghost hunters do. They just, okay, we could give you a number of a medium that can help or something, but their job is just to come in to see if they have enough evidence by the EVP sessions or if they maybe caught a little black mass or something, you know, approach. That's their job, you know, so it's like, for like Kelly, I've never seen a full body ever. I've seen little black masses. I've seen little balls of light. I've smelled things. I've had just horrible feelings. I've had weird things that's happened around the house, but never woke up and seen. I don't know what I would do or how I would react to that, honestly.
Wow.
I really don't.
I don't know. I've seen my share, but like I don't see it a lot. You know what I mean? Like I don't openly look for that kind of stuff. I'm a big so if I see it, I'm like Scooby-Doo. You know how their legs turn like wheels when they run?
Exactly.
I'm like that. I don't want to stick around. I don't want to ghost hunt. I don't want to ghost chase. I don't want to walk with them. Nothing.
Right.
But yeah, like
my
we had a great story. Me and Kelly, we had this this friend. We're gonna say friend, but she liked to she just liked to bug the hell out of us. She would send us messages constantly on our social media about dumb shit, you know, like 90% of it was some kind of bull. Anyway, I'm not gonna say her name on here, but she'd say my daddy passed away 10 years ago, and I went and bought an EVP system, and so I can talk to him, and I straight as day wrote to her. I said, you know, I don't think EVP works in hell.
Oh yeah, that was, you know, and this person. This person we're talking about, I'll tell you who on Facebook, you know, a message or something.
But you know what? That just showed. I almost had to apologize for that, but it was
because no matter the disdain you have, that's harsh, but funny. Shit, though.
What's EVP?
Electronic voice. Oh, EVP is that? What is it? Electronic voice.
Phenomenon or something. Yeah,
it
something
picks
like
up sounds, you know, like of spirits or whatnot.
They pick up sounds through electromagnetic pulses.
Oh, I see. So the spirits are talking in some other thing than sound.
It can
electrical energy, and it can record
electromagnetic pulses.
It's like how a camera might see infrared. This thing can hear spirits in a different.
But I can tell you this much, James. I know. I have a relative that messes with the EVP all the time, and then she complains about how she has more and more of this activity in her home. And I said, okay, I believe that you're kind of inviting all of this into your home. If you're sitting there and you're asking, hey, you know, who's here and all that, come on in or whatever. Yeah, of course you're going to have some problems. I would think.
Yeah, but you know on the same token, with any kind of ghost thing like that, I've seen some good things happen. Me and my first wife, we both were military. She was Navy, I was Army. Well, my youngest daughter was just born, maybe a few months old, if that, 2-3 months old. Well, her mom was at Virginia at sea at the time. And I was left with the kids watching them, you know? And, you know, me, I don't know shit about kids. I mean, I'm barely home from Iraq myself, you know? But I had my sister there with me. And she was kind of helping me out. So I was sleeping. My sister comes to my door, just pale. And she goes, did you just bang on my door? Were you in Morgan's room and bang on my door? I said, no, why? She said, you're not going to believe this. I said, what happened? She goes, I was sitting on the couch and somebody started banging on Morgan's door from the inside where the baby was at. Well, she freaked out. She opened it and saw Morgan hanging out of that crib with her head about to hit the ground.
Oh my God.
So whatever it was in there, let my sister know that she was about to fall.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And
I believe we have good ones and bad ones.
Well, it's true.
Most definitely.
My mother had passed in 96. For some reason, my brother and his wife had extreme problems in their house with that, with like different entities and things like that.
Right.
Anyway, it was funny. They had a rocking chair that that belonged to my mother, and the chair would just constantly rock back and forth on its own. You know, I'm like, okay. And the canned foods would be in different places, just little dumb things, right? And and their drawers would open and close. And I know my sister-in-law, Pam, she said, Sharon, knock it off. It's scaring the kids. And that was my mother's name. All of a sudden, all that stuff would quit.
Wow.
But she would get that way if another woman entered the house, like Pam's mother or her sister. Whoever the ghost was, I don't know. But if it was my mom, like they say, she didn't want another woman in that house with the kids. It'd make her angry.
There's something like I mean, you know what's weird about that is I would imagine some spirits probably can sense who they want in and who they don't.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like when April was talking about the house that she was looking at with her ex-husband or her husband or whoever.
Her pimp,
her sugar daddy. You know that yeah, they may not have wanted, that ghost may not have wanted April in her, knowing, you know, the business and track record she has. Probably don't want her kind in the house.
No, you know,
want that traffic coming through in and out.
You know what though? I think that ghosts tend to attach themselves to children and animals, if you've noticed. Yeah. And I think a lot of that reason is I think they're probably pure of heart and spirit, and it makes them more open to things like that. You know what I mean? Ghosts don't mess with us because we got so much other bullshit going on in our lives.
Yeah.
Right. I get extremely scared because my mom, you know, she passed away 2 years ago unexpectedly.
I'm sorry about that.
She used to tease me. Oh, thank you. She used to tease me and say, "Oh, April," because she knew I was kind of always afraid of ghosts, and I've always, through my whole life, you know, had weird things that happen. And she says, "I swear, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get you, Abe. I'm going to scare the shit out of you." And I said, "Ma, please don't do anything like that to me." After she had passed away, you know, my sister, you know, they say they come to you maybe in dreams, things like that. You know, I think it's just a grieving process you go through and all that. And I said, well, nobody's ever talked to me. You know, Mom hasn't came and seen me. Well, I was in the store one time and I got this strong whiff of her perfume. And I said, okay, I'm in the bread aisle. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, bye. You want to visit me in the bread aisle while I'm shopping? I don't know. Okay. Just follow me around, whatnot, I guess, you know. I couldn't understand it, but I kind of knew she was there, and it was like a good feeling instead of that scary, dark, like, you know, you're in trouble for something as a little kid, anxious feeling, you know?
Yeah.
So I just kind of went with it, and then it just kind of went away, you know? I think if you're one to, my sister likes to follow these things and get on the EVP and annoy them, and then she wants to take a bunch of pictures in her home, and she wonders why she's got these orbs and faces and things are happening to her. And I said, you know what? Yeah.
I bet she gets hit a lot by her husband, doesn't she?
No, she's not married. She's not married.
No, I'm saying that because she's a hardhead. Like, oh my God, like.
Yeah, right. I know. I understand having interest.
A woman like that, she'd be out of the house. Like, we haven't talked the first time to say, you know, maybe you need to knock off the whole ghostess. I don't know how to say it in Pig Latin. How do you say that? Ixnay on the ghost day?
Yeah.
How do you say that in Pig Latin? Ixnay on the ghost day?
The ghost day.
Mine would get upset with me watching those shows. And I said, well, they're not. He said, no. And he would joke around. If you get something that comes through that TV in the house,
very rare where I watch a scary show. I have to be with somebody. I can't do it on my own.
That's the fun part.
And he said, stop watching that stuff. Every time you watch that stuff, something around here happens or what, you know, whatever. Like I was bringing it in by watching the TV show. You know,
I got in trouble trying to spook my kids a couple months ago.
Wow.
And I was putting on Annabelle for them, and first of all, I got in trouble for that because
that's pretty scary.
I wasn't thinking clearly, and their mom really flipped out about that. But I was doing it as a fun, you know. I'm with them, though. I didn't think they were going to be that scared. Well, they got scared. They all went downstairs, and next thing I know, I'm up there watching it, and I'm halfway through it, and I'm starting to look for them. I'm going, shit, where are they at?
They threw you under the bus, too, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they went down. My son went down, tears in his eyes, and I was like, "You're with Daddy, man." I was like, what the heck? And yeah, he was spooked.
Yeah, they do that.
Well, April, listen, hon, we got to get moving on the show. We appreciate having you on.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
And we'll have you on again,
Great.
sometime here. And that was interesting to hear your stories, though.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Well, you got to go back to work now. We know that sucks, but
Yep, that's what I'm going to try to do here.
all right.
All right, then
Okay.
we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, April.
Bye. You're listening to The Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez, and I would like to give a shout-out to our sponsor, Everlast, the choice of champions, with apparel and fight gear and fight equipment, the best around.
This is After the Bell with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. And what we're discussing is how Kelly Pavlik, former 3-time world champion and lineal middleweight champion of the world, how he would fare against some of the best middleweights of all time. This is honest, no holds barred, no bullshit assessment on how he thinks he would really do.
Yeah, I'm over choking on my chew. My Copenhagen.
All right.
All right, so give me the list first before
I'm not giving you a list first. I want to surprise you.
All right.
All right, I want to surprise you with each one.
Now, you know I'm going to get flack for this because no matter what I say,
There's not a right answer.
there's going to be guys that know boxing and this and that, and they're going to come over and everything I say, oh, he's stupid. He don't know.
Hey, it's
That's
your
right.
opinion, man.
But it's an opinion.
I'm going to break it down as
Everyone's
fair as
got
I can. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to go in there and say, I'm going to knock every one of them out.
Well,
You know.
yeah.
All right, so you're going to try to be honest about
But no,
Yeah.
I mean, just be scientific and
But
educated about it.
I can't put my. Oh, I think I could do that, but I'm not going to run myself into the ground.
Yeah, of course. But this is, I think every champion has done this at one point. Roy Jones did it with his,
All right.
All right, Mike Tyson did it. All right, I'm going to hit you with number 10 with Julian Jackson.
Oh, Julian was a great fighter, man.
Great puncher.
Yeah, I mean, he could hit. I know I showed it that I have a good chin,
Yeah, you have.
and I could take from very hard punchers. I think it would be a great fight. It would definitely be a fan favorite. Be a war back and forth. I think the only way to describe that fight would be whose chin stands up
Well, we already know the answer to that.
and whose.
Julian, the chin was not the best.
Well, there you go. So you answer that one for me. I would have to take me in that one in an all-out brawl, and
I'd have to.
I don't think I would be feeling that good after next couple of days.
No,
but
you'd be in trouble for the next few days.
Yeah.
But I think his chin was tested by other fighters, by great fighters, and his chin was the only chink in his armor because he could box and he could punch. He just wasn't able to take that big shot. Number 9, Gerald McClellan.
Oh my God, he's trying to get me killed. I mean, that's what he's doing right now. And if I had to fight these guys in order, man, I wouldn't be here right now. Gerald McClellan, phenomenal fighter. I don't know.
Great chin, too.
Yeah, I'm not going to come out and say that he would beat me. That'd be ludicrous. Gerald McClellan could fight. He was a all-around good fighter.
He punched.
Yeah, and that was the thing. He could punch. Again, going off what I have proved in the ring was that I was in great shape. I averaged a lot of punches around for middleweight. Obviously, my knockout ratio and my chin. I don't know on that one. That would be...
McClellan was about 94% knockout.
Yeah, I mean, the guy could hit. Hell of a fighter. That would be one for the fans, for them to choose. All right.
Bernard Hopkins at 160.
Me. And I would say, and again, I would say me in the fight that was at light heavyweight. But I'm not going to touch on, I've already recently been touching on what was wrong in that fight, what went on, what happened. Bernard Hopkins is a great fighter, man, an all-time great. I don't think anybody has to rep him up or make him any better than what he's already proven.
Yeah, true.
I think his career tells a story of its own, and he's an all-time, he's a Hall of Famer. But, middleweight, I think. Again, you go back, you look at it, Jermaine Taylor beat him twice. Controversial or not, if it was a close fight or not, it was close enough to be a draw or for Jermaine Taylor to win.
Styles make fights, so
Styles make fights, but not in the one way that it went with me and him.
Yeah.
You could tell in that fight that I was not...
Something wasn't right.
That I wasn't 100% or even 90%. But Bernard Hopkins is going to go down as the greatest, or if not, top 2 middleweights of all time, and rightfully so. I think, he's already broke all the records. He set the standards, and, I hate to say that, I like Triple G a lot. I think he's a great fighter, but if he does eventually break the record, I would kind of think it's a little unfair. You know.
Mm-hmm. What about James Toney?
James Toney at 160 was a great fighter. James Toney is a great fighter at every weight class. I think
he would have you swinging at shadows for the first few rounds.
Yeah, he defense wise, he was phenomenal. You know, he's good with his hand speed. He had really good hand speed. But I think that was a fight that would come down to the stretch, the later rounds.
I think with James Toney, you would have to take him to deep waters where because what hurt him was his stamina. He did not have it because of cutting weight. Him constantly coming down from 200 pounds to make 160 was wearing on him.
And to break that down, with my style, I think that he would have been dragged out to deeper water a lot earlier than he would have against anybody else.
True.
From round one, he would have had to throw a lot of punches or be on the move a lot in the early rounds because, again, with the amount of punches I throw around and everything else, he would have been having to spend a lot of energy. So in that fight, I would definitely say me in a decision.
Well, I'm going to have to hit you with Roy Jones. This is at 160 in his prime.
Ah, man. I'll leave that one up to the fans. Roy Jones, great fighter. I don't think his chin was tested as much early on in his career.
He had a lot of athletic ability.
A punch that lands for me clean or, a bunch of punches, I don't know. But overall, man, Roy Jones was a phenomenal fighter. Probably one of the most naturally athletic boxers of all time.
True.
So that one, I know who people are going to pick on that one.
Wow.
I'm not going to say me on that one. Roy Jones was that good, but I'm not going to say I would have got beat either. Again, this is hard for me to answer these questions.
I know it is. What about Marvin Hagler?
I would say me in that one.
Well, my only thing on the Marvin Hagler was he fight very few middleweights himself. He loved blowing up welterweights. He loved the junior. A lot of people don't look at Hagler like that. They look at him as almost like a demigod. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they forget about the Hagler who had trouble with Duran, who was a lightweight.
I said that before, and I got reamed out for that.
Well, Rudy Hernandez said the same thing.
I agree. I would say me in that one. Just Hagler didn't fight anybody of my size.
But he did throw punch count like you did.
He did.
He had a high punch count.
And I don't think he was a knockout artist, but, he over time, his punches built up.
He broke you down.
Yeah. But still, again, he didn't fight anybody of my natural size and strength and, and probably conditioning, too, at that weight. Now, I'm not saying Duran wasn't a well-conditioned fighter, but I think Duran was a lot more conditioned at light weight, welterweight, than he was at middleweight.
True.
So.
Now, I'm going to hit you with one more before we wrap it up. Sugar Ray Robinson. That's the GOAT.
Yeah. Sugar Ray Robinson had it all, too. Power, everything else. Again, though, times are different.
Yeah, but that's the 1950s, 1960s.
Yeah, times are different. I mean, it's two different ball games now. But Sugar Ray Robinson was just, he was a savage. I don't know what other words to put.
I think you would have to keep him far to the outside, use your height advantage.
Yeah.
Because Sugar Ray Robinson, I don't think was any taller than 5'8" or 5'9".
No, he was a great fighter. Would have been a hell of a fight, for however long it lasted.
Yeah.
But the guy, guys, the only thing about that is you hit guys back then and they went down. Them guys didn't quit, man. I mean, you literally had to cut something off on them, to end the fight. They get knocked down 20 times in a fight, be out. And if they made the count, they weren't quitting. They weren't wanting to go down again. They were coming to take your head off. And that was the difference, but then and now. Now guys are bigger, faster, stronger, but the guys back then I think had a lot of heart.
Another one I would have liked to do like an honorable mention would have been Jake LaMotta, because that would have been god awful.
Personally, Jake LaMotta was one of my favorite fighters, but I see that fight in a brutal stoppage.
Have you ever met him?
No, but today's the way they stop the fights and how quick they stop it. I see me winning on like a 6, 7, maybe 8 round stoppage.
He would have gave you everything that you would have earned your paycheck that night.
Mm-hmm. That I'm not arguing. But no, I see a 6th, 7th round stoppage in that one. Cause back then, No, I'd probably have been ice in my hands for 4 months.
Jake hasn't made my top 10 list, but I want to put him there as honorable mention because I just think that fight would have meshed well.
Oh, I loved Jake LaMotta's fighting style. You know, I mean, he was. I go back and you watch the old films and things like that. Mainly, I watch a lot of them on YouTube. Google it in, and you know they pull them up.
ESPN classics.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, just fun as hell to watch. Was Arturo Gatti to me a bigger Arturo Gatti?
Arturo was just a great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, those are 5 or 6 of the fighters I had. I'll have another list coming for you.
It sounds like you're trying to set me up to get moitered.
Well, you know what? That's what my job is. My job is for you to see the other side of what I want you to see. No, I don't think you said it murdered. I think I wanted you to see how what you.
Oh,
think.
back to back with those guys though. Could you imagine if you had to fight that list?
Yeah, you'd be like 5 and you'd be like your career would be like 8 and 4.
Yeah.
You know, 3 and 7.
After 4 fights, you'd be like, "Why did Kelly retire? He was punch drunk."
But you know, I kind of want to. You know, people don't know, but you're on the ballot for the Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah, you know, I seen that. I didn't believe it, but that's
you're
awesome.
on there.
That's
Which is awesome, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And but I just want to see where you personally fit yourself among these elites. You know what I mean? Because one day you're going to be there with those elites yourself.
No, I mean, some guys that you mentioned. My God, what fighters those were, and I don't think anybody. Maybe if you got a big boxing guru, they know how good they were. But being a boxing fan and studying the sport and watching those, for people who don't know how good they were, you can't really put into words. I guess the only way to say it is if anybody's listening to the show that's heard of the name and heard that they were great, but really never seen them fight. I guess the only way to explain it is go on YouTube, or Google their name in, and go watch.
Yeah.
And I think everybody would see for themselves what it was like. And for me to be in there with one of them, again, you know, my style was my style, and I came to fight and was in great condition and hit hard. But them guys were just phenomenal fighters. And not only phenomenal fighters, but again, like I'm saying, the era, you know, they were ballsy. They had a shitload of heart. You know, you weren't dropping them and thinking the fight was over. You know, like kind of like they say about Arturo Gatti. You didn't have a fight until you hurt them. You know, like once you hurt them,
it was on.
It was on. You know, so that was one of those. That was the type of fighters that what they were to go along with the skills that they had.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know, a lot of people are coming out saying that Arturo was murdered. That's one of the theories, because his hands were black and blue. If that was the case, could you imagine the work that those guys had cut out for him trying to kill him?
Yeah, and how many?
How many?
Yeah,
because I know 2 or 3 didn't do it.
No, unless he was not able to walk or
the guy was. Well, they said his knuckles were bruised and cut.
Yeah, but he was sleeping too, though. I mean, they found him in his underwear.
Yeah,
they said, and his wife said he was in bed.
Yeah,
you know, he was out partying the night before too. So that, you know, who knows?
Didn't you talk to him the night before?
I talked to him a couple days before. He was actually still, you know, and it was the first time I was always a big fan of Arturo Gatti and loved the guy. And then, you know, I got to talk to him, and he was at a dinner in Atlantic City. And then he was on his way, I guess, either the next day or the day after. He was on his way to Brazil.
You're right.
Yeah, and vacation. And that was it.
Wow. What a loss. It was a big loss, too. I mean, for the whole boxing world, it's crazy.
Yeah, you know, especially at that time, too. There was just a lot of great fighters and great people.
We lost Diego the same time.
Same year, Vernon Forrest, I believe.
Yeah, Vernon Forrest went the same time. It was just like all in threes. And, you know, Diego, I thought the world of Diego, even as an amateur.
Oh, I did too. I did too. You know, and Cameron Duncan, who was my manager and was his manager.
Yeah.
I mean, just the nice things that Cameron said about him too. And in boxing, you don't find too many people always saying nice things about people. Cameron Duncan is a
rare bird.
A rare breed in the sport. And you know, he loved all of his fighters and looked after them, their best interest. And but the things that he said, and he would tell stories about Diego, and they were all just kind, nice, you know, stories about him. Nothing mean, nothing derogatory or anything tearing him down. So that was hard, you know, for the people in the boxing world.
And then Diego, You know, good story. Ricky Funes was one of Diego's assistant trainers. He actually has a poodle that Diego had given him, and it's still alive today.
Oh, yeah?
That poodle's got to be every bit of 18 years old.
Well, yeah, well, that fight was 2005.
Yeah, but he gave him a poodle. Yeah. Ricky has that poodle still.
Exactly,
yeah. Diego
Krause. That'd have been 12 years ago.
And he got that before. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah.
Well, Diego, I think, you know what, because they did what do you call that? The 10-second, the bell toll. They did that when I fought Miranda, right before we
Diego,
went in.
Yeah,
it was for Diego, and that was 2007. So.
And who else did we lose at that time? We lost.
See, what I can remember right now was Vernon Forrest, Diego, Toro Gotti. How about the kid we were talking about? Why am I not remembering his name? The small kid, Edwin.
Edwin Valero. We lost him about the same time, but that was kind of more of a self-inflicted type thing.
Yeah, but it was a loss.
You know, that was Rudy's fighter. Yeah. One of our good friends. And, you know, that kid was an amazing fighter. He just had demons he could never control, you know. Yeah. He had a lot of issues going on. But me and you went to Vernon's memorial service. You remember that?
Yeah. And, you know, that's the thing, too. Not only did you lose fighters, I mean, you lost guys that had an impact on people, on the sport, and just everything. Vernon
gave most of his money away to charity groups.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a nice guy.
They just weren't fighters. They were just great people overall.
Humanitarians.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was sad. I mean, it was a...
He got killed in his own hometown.
Yeah. Wasn't he? He was chasing somebody or something happened?
No. What had happened was he had Florida license plates on his car, on his Jaguar, him and his nephew. And they drove to Atlanta. That was his hometown anyway. But these guys are making a remark, calling him easy target. They were saying that easy target because they saw him with the Jaguar, the IBF championship ring, all that stuff. So they had robbed him at that gas station. And they took his ring and they pulled the gun on him. Well, what happened was Vernon was also allowed to carry a weapon himself. He had a concealed carry license. So he wanted to get his stuff back. So he pulled the gun and chased those guys to a neighborhood. One of the other guys got behind him and shot him in the back of the head and took his ring and took his money and everything.
Wow.
But they did get sentenced to life in prison, both of them, just recently.
Good. Wow. Yeah, that's horrible. How they all passed, you know, just too soon.
It's funny because people say, oh, Vernon was stupid for chasing them. Wait a minute. This is a fighter. This is a guy with a fighter spirit. Just because you're not in the ring don't mean you lose that. You know what I mean? You're going to fight. And he was, you know, protecting his nephew as well. Yeah. Who was a little boy, 9 years old, 10 years old?
Yeah, sad. You know, like I said, too short. The lives that we lost were way before their time.
Way before, yeah. I believe Vernon Forrest would have been in the Hall of Fame. I believe Arturo Gotti, he did get in the Hall of Fame, didn't he?
I don't know on that one. I know he was on the ballot.
He should get in.
Yeah.
And you know who else I would like to see in, who we lost before our time too? Gennaro Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another humanitarian. Died of cancer young. Yeah. And 2-time world champion?
Yeah, how could you not put him on there? With some of the guys that he fought.
Everybody.
You know, a lot of people go on the losses on your record, but
he had 2 losses.
When you have, only 2 losses, but when you have a resume like he had,
you guys had identical records.
What was his record?
40-2.
Wow. Yeah.
But his knockouts were like 17. I mean, he wasn't the puncher you were, but he's 130 pounds.
Yeah, the resume they had, the guys they fought and everything else, you got to put that into play.
Yeah, it's true. He cleaned that junior lightweight division out, and he gave Floyd a fight.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd Mayweather, for the things they say about him, which I think a lot of that is the same problems you have. Yeah. People are always going to say things that aren't true or act like experts on certain things. Floyd paid for that funeral. He helped out. He didn't have to.
No.
And then when they asked Floyd why, because Floyd didn't want media coverage on it. When they asked Floyd why, he said because Gennaro gave him the opportunity that nobody else did. Nobody would fight Floyd Mayweather that young in his career. Gennaro's all, let's do it.
Yeah. And things like that is nice to hear too. Yeah, really, I mean, it is. You know.
They don't put
the bright side, I guess, of things. You know.
Well, Kelly, they don't put the news about the things you do for people either, which is nuts.
And the charities, but like Floyd, you know, all the charities that I've done and I'm still doing, you know, I don't want publicized.
No, I know. But let me tell you what, that day you went with me to the VA, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Kelly went with me to the VA hospital, and we went because I'm a veteran. Kelly made a lot of people's day that day, just going in there and talking to these people. You know, they loved it.
You know, and I think that's shine a bright light on some of the things instead of negativity. I mean, I understand this day and age, negativity sells.
Yeah.
You know, and but there's always a lot of good. There's way more good than there is bad.
It's true.
You know, but it don't get touched on.
But you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna die, and you can't die with your money. You can't die with.
Yeah, you can.
You can't. The one thing people are gonna remember you is your character and how you treated people. That's all they're gonna remember.
Legacy.
That's it.
Yep.
And I mean, there's guys in the boxing world I'm not going to say names, you know, I won't do that. But recently has been down on their luck. And you sent them money without them even asking for it. I mean, that shows a big heart. I mean, huge, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to see anybody struggling, though. I mean, especially hardworking people or,
Yeah.
you know, people that are trying to do good for themselves.
I know, I try to hit Kelly up every couple months. Kelly, you're not going to believe this shit, but I'll just write you a check, all right? It'll be there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that too much. I don't want to say, F you, but no.
Yeah, but, you know, so we'll get the rest of the list, and then eventually we're going to have where the fans could email in their top 10 list.
Well, you should write top 10 list for me for amateurs
We could do that.
oh, God.
God, I know all the same guys. That
You know all the same
fought.
people we all fought. We have fought all the same guys.
Yeah, or you fought guys around the weight class that I was at.
Yeah.
That I remember seeing because that's all I used to do at that age, like 15, 16. You know, you look at the USA boxing magazine that they would send you.
Yeah.
And you see the rankings and they have like things on tournaments and who won. Yeah, so I remember seeing your name in there and the guys in your weight class.
Yeah.
I only really paid attention to like the 3 weight classes. The one below me, my weight class,
Yep.
and the one
I paid
above
attention
me.
to 32, 39, 47.
Yeah.
And then 56 as I got a little older. But I remember seeing your name just creeping up at like 90. I was like, what?
And like I was telling them, I mean, I had a short-lived amateur career, really, like from the time that it started blossoming. I mean, from JOs, I went to the open division, and that was only open division, not even a year, and I turned pro. And so I had a handful of tournaments I got in and did very well, and that's how I qualified for Olympic
Yeah,
trials.
but you make it sound like a short-lived is not almost 100 fights. That's not short-lived.
Well, that was over a period of time. You know, I started fighting when I was 9. I had my first amateur fight at 10, but it was, you know, like fight far in between.
You're talking about major tournaments.
Yeah, because I was playing baseball, football, so you know I'd fight like twice a year early on. If I got lucky, I would get 4 fights in, and then as I kept getting older, I say around 14 was when I really started picking up the amount of fights, but I only fought till amateur till I was 17.
Yeah.
You know, so once I really started finding my own, and I started getting into the tournaments, then you know at the end of my junior Olympic, going into the open division, that's when I won the national PAL juniors, national Golden Glove juniors. Then I won the Inter 19, which was considered an open division tournament, though it wasn't Junior Olympics no more. And then that's how I ended up qualifying for the.
Do you know who I always wanted to fight? I always looked at his name on there and it made me angry. Rashi Wells.
Oh yeah,
I always want to fight Rashi Wells.
He was out of Philadelphia too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I always want to fight him, and I always want to fight Terrence Calvin too.
I don't remember him.
Terrence Cawthon, no.
Terrence Cawthon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was there when Paul Spadafora laid it on him in sparring.
Yeah.
Actually, because they came with me to the Silver Gloves
Yeah.
that year. Paul and Tommy Yankello, who had
I remember Tommy.
Verquam Kimbrough, too.
Yeah.
Tommy was his trainer, and Verquam was fighting in the Silver Gloves in Philadelphia. And Paul was in training camp as a pro, but he came along. You know, Tommy didn't want to leave him by himself, and they had him train there for, you know, the week that we were there. And man, Paul, he looked sharp in that sparring session.
Paul always looked sharp in sparring.
I mean, he definitely got the best of Terrence.
I worked a little over 2 years with Paul, and I learned more from Paul than I ever did in any fight. You know what I mean? Just watching what real professional fighters can do. Him and Eddie Cook. I learned a lot from Eddie Cook, the bantamweight champ too, and learned a lot. And even Angel Manfredi, I learned a lot from.
Another great fighter.
We're gonna have him on the show.
Yeah.
He's been chewing our ass about coming on the show.
I know. We got to get him on, though.
You know, the thing is, it's not that we can't get him on the show. It's just the time constraints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we get guests. You know, the way we do the show is we got to get the guests when we could get them. You know, so you tell somebody, hey, you know, do you want to be on the show? And they say, yeah. and then you call them that week of, and they're like, you know what? Can we move it to next week?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like first come, first serve with the show.
Or some of the guests we have are higher profile guests, like the Olympian we have coming on. I'm not gonna say names right now because I want to leave that surprise. But we have to go through PR people. Our manager has to go through their manager and PR, and it's a nightmare.
I feel like saying I used to have to do that too.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, you still do.
But I tell you what, not tooting my own horn on this, or you being arrogant. Man, have we had some guests though in a short period of time that we've been doing the show? We have had some great guests.
Well, let's go through them in case people don't know.
Mikey Garcia,
Rudy Hernandez,
Ricky Fuentes,
Shannon Torres Gilman,
Matt Brown
from the UFC, one of my buddies. Who else do we have on there?
Melissa
DeValti, CEO of Heroes Boxing.
Pedro Garcia.
Ann Wolf.
Or not Pedro, Javier
Pelos Garcia.
Pelos, yeah.
Ann Wolf.
And Wolf, yeah.
How can we forget Ann Wolf, one of the greatest trainers out there?
April Kuntz-Hood.
April Kuntz-Hood. I mean, and we make, what I want to do was, my goal with this show was make the show accessible. So many shows out there, when they have, let's face it, a celebrity, you're a boxing celebrity, they make it inaccessible to them. People can't call in and say, hey, let me talk to Mike Tyson right now on the air. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And see, the way we have this set up, too, for the listeners to understand, it's a podcast, and we don't do live.
Yeah.
So we would like to have call-ins and things like that. And maybe eventually down the line we may, or we may just keep it the way that we're doing it now.
Call you.
Yeah, call you. I like it that way every bit as much. You know, we're going to have everything set up to where people can send the emails and questions. We will get to the questions. I think we have done that already, too.
Yeah, we have.
So, you know, when we get these guests and people may want to talk to them, we will try to find a way to have that, or if they have questions for our guests.
Yes.
You know.
And also, did you tell people to be on the lookout? We're planning a launch party eventually.
Yeah,
soon.
We'll be having a launch party. Merchandise will be going here real quick. I think we have the PayPal.
We have PayPal set up already.
Yeah. So.
And, you know.
Website. We got the website coming very soon.
We have a new producer that keeps us in line. So, I mean.
Go ahead, give a shout out, Caleb.
Hey, this is Caleb Kent, just saying hi.
Tell them who you is and what you do.
I don't really want to talk about that.
Okay.
Well, why don't you tell people how to get in contact with you?
They can contact me, dj@calebkent.com.
Exactly. You have a Twitter?
At Caleb Kent.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, right now I think we're at a point where we're surrounding ourselves with capable people and good people.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And
Yes.
if they're not capable, they don't last. I'm a ball buster.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I mean,
Of yourself, right?
oh, everybody. But no, like my goal with my vision for the show was not about being rich. It's not about being famous, because I don't care about that. What I want, maybe we can improve somebody else's day. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe improve our own.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You know, at first I was going, man, I don't know. I'm busy doing this because after 5 years of being retired, I was having too much fun and nothing to do. And then I was like, nah, but you know, I got other things going on. I'm busy with other stuff. And then it kind of sunk in, and I was like, yeah, you know what? James is right about this, man. This will be fun. And it gives a chance to interact, like get on with people that we're fans with, first of all. Yeah. You know, have the guests on that I'm a fan of, which everybody we had on the show, I have been a fan on. And there's going to be people that I may become fans of that I'm not having them on the show. You know, so it gives a chance to do that. Then once we get the email, we have the email where people contact us or write their questions. People have a chance to ask questions to me that they would not otherwise be able to.
Well, did you mention that we have a nice, beautiful studio where people can come in and interview now?
Yeah, we got a studio this week that we'll be getting into. I think our producer Caleb will like that too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, you know, he'll have his own little office area. Which will charge him rent for that, though.
We'll take off his pay.
Can I get a chair?
You get a TV even.
Yes.
And a bed there.
Yeah, but the website's going to be big. You know, it's going to be an easier way. We'll post that on our social medias and Twitter and Facebook.
True. I think we've been lucky. I think we have a great staff.
And by the time, you know, like I said, these shows ain't live. By the time this airs, I hope to already be having all that stuff.
I'm sure we will. Yeah, we're already in our office or our studio. We just haven't moved in.
So that's why we keep telling listeners, bear with. we're getting moving.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only had 6 shows that
exactly.
been on. Well,
I want to take a time out to say thank you to Amy Green, our manager.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's great.
She is. She's like a pit bull. She's amazing. She's so protective over us. I could ask for something better.
She's on it.
Alicia Taylor, our social media director, amazing. And also, she's not a paid employee, but she's always has our backs. Christine Lopez
Oh, definitely.
with Global Fight Talk.
Yeah, all of them. I mean,
They have their own show too, and they share guests.
and they're great
with us.
people to work with. No matter how busy they're busy with their own things that they got going on.
They got title fight coming in England.
Yeah, they're all very busy, believe me. And they're on the phone with us every day helping out. Another one sponsor I would like to thank very much that has helped a lot is Everlast, the Choice of Champions.
Everlast is huge.
Great.
Ernie.
I've always loved working with them. I worked with them pretty much my entire career.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah.
Well, it is quality. And the thing is with Ernie, we didn't have to beg or come to him and plead. One phone call was made by Amy. Amy called them. Ernie said, done. What do you need? And
Anytime in my career, and I'm not just saying this, I have people that could testify to it. Every time I needed something, when we were in training camp, if it was certain gloves or even if my trainer needed a punching bag, Everlast didn't care.
Yeah.
Even before I was champion now. I'm not just saying they did this for me when I was champion. Even before I was champion, anything we needed, they always got it out to us and took care of us in a quick manner too.
Yeah, because the older you became, the meaner you became an asshole. You were sparring.
I didn't know I am asshole.
You were sparring with jab gloves, and those things are meant to kill people.
Yeah, I was old.
Yeah, that's why you were using jab. That's like using Reyes fight gloves to spar with.
One of the nicest damn guys out there, and he calls me an asshole.
Yeah.
Hey, if you spar somebody with jab gear, you deserve it to be called an asshole.
That was a little unfair. Well, that goes back to because most of my career I had to use 18-ounce gloves, and I would spar people a lot bigger than me.
And you smaller ones.
And they make me put 18-ounce gloves on. I was like wearing pillows, first of all, for me, and hitting them.
Manny Stewart made me do that, wear 18-ounce gloves. Yeah. And there were those remember those ugly ringside gloves? The ones that had the Velcro over the top, and they would slide around in your hand?
I had a big pair I used those, and then I had a big pair of Everlast. They were green ones.
Oh, yeah.
They were big, though. They looked like the Hulk's hands.
Yeah. Dude, I remember in
Hulk smash.
In '94, I got my first pair of Reyes. They were red. I thought I was like the king of the world.
See, I fought almost all my fights with Reyes gloves.
But being 15, walked around with these Reyes gloves, you think you're king of the world when you go in the gym. Everybody's looking at them.
Yep.
And they're like, "How did you get them?" My mom bought them for me.
And they weren't cheap.
About $160 in like '94.
They keep your hands warm.
No, they don't. But they put your sparring partner. They make them respect you.
Yeah, they do. Sparring equipment, sparring gloves, fight gloves, Reyes. They were like jab, harder than jab.
But Everlast has kind of made their own way into that now too with that new MX system. And what is the other one? The Climate Cool one.
Yeah, my last 2 fights that I had, I used the Reyes or Everlast gloves.
MX.
Yeah, they were hard.
I like sparring and winning. I'm a big winning person when it comes to sparring and trading.
Yeah.
But Everlast kind of made their way up there.
See, the big thing with me was in my career, it wasn't so much the glove. Like, I didn't care. I mean, to be honest with you, having what my power, and again, I'm not being big-headed, I'm just being brutally honest. Mm-hmm. It didn't make a difference if I wore a Grant or a Reyes. You know what I mean? It probably would have made a difference on the hand. But see, where it came into, the reason why I picked the Reyes gloves was that was what I was used to. The material or whatever, however they made the gloves, they fit my hand a certain way. And it may have just been all mental, but no matter what it was, I just like the way they fit my hands.
They run wide.
And I was a little bit superstitious, too. So that was another big thing that came in a factor. So that's why I always stuck with the Reyes. And, when I tried other gloves, and they just didn't fit to my liking, And that's a big thing. You're in that ring for all that time. If you got something that's uncomfortable, especially on your tools, your hands, your main tools, then that's not a good thing. And so that's why I stuck with the Reyes, most of my career, all of my career till, last 2 fights.
Well, that was a big complaint for fighters back in the day. That's why they started doing glove fittings 24 hours prior so you could change them.
Huh. What are some of your other superstitions that you followed?
I'm not a really superstitious guy, to be honest with you. But fight night,
ritual?
you kind
Like a
of you
ritual,
you always want to have an advantage in something. No rituals. Mainly gloves. The songs that I used to come out early in my career. It was I came out to a certain one.
Like put you in a certain mood.
But I was also younger and cockier, so I used the same song for like the first 12 fights, and then I switched that because I was 12-0 with 12 knockouts, and at that point I was like, ain't nobody beating me, Like, I knock everybody out, no matter if I listen to I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie road coming down the lane.
Listen to Aqua.
Yeah, Aqua.
What was that song? What was that 12-0 song? Do you remember?
I think it was, to be honest with you, Disturbed. Down with the Sickness.
Down with the Sickness, yeah.
Yeah, and then I came out to, after that, it was all Korn, Here to Stay. See, now here's the thing with that, too. A lot of time for fights, besides HBO, when you walk out, I mean, usually, depending on the fighter, some guys like to shut their stuff down, take their good old time, get into the ring.
I want to get there quick.
Yeah, I got to the ring. I mean, I flew to the ring. And the thing was that you wanted to do was get the crowd as pumped up and into it as possible. I want to stay warm. Yeah, so like Korn came on and you just had like literally 8 seconds of this guitar in the background, and then it kicked into the bass, the drums going.
Yeah, so it was like a choreography.
Yeah, and it was kind of, and it just got the fans going, and by the time the part of the song kicked in, it kind of slowing down a little bit.
Right.
Okay. I was already in the ring and they were cutting the song off and moving it to the next guy, or, vice versa. Well, I was in the ring, they cut it off. I got to the ring quick. I think the Miranda fight, I literally ran to the ring. So
I would have, if I ever had that opportunity, I would like to probably Slipknot, Wait and Bleed.
Yeah.
Because Wait and Bleed is just an amazing song for title for a boxing match.
Yeah, and I was a Korn fan, like you're saying, but again, also when you fought on network TVs, well, you could, but when you only had a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but the cussing in some places they don't allow it.
But they didn't play, like if you watch ESPN fights, they don't show people walking down to the ring anyways.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So when we went to the ring, you literally only had maybe 30 seconds of them playing music that you didn't hear on TV, but just in the arena when you're going to the ring, and then they would cut it off for TV reasons, like James saying.
Like commercials or something.
So, again, with that song was perfect and fit that, that time slot for me to get to the ring just perfectly, and that's why I stayed with that song all the time. There was other groups out there that was a little heavier and that I liked better, but the perfect song to get everybody riled up at a certain period of time that I had to get to that time frame that I had to get to the ring.
You should have threw everybody off and came out to Korn Adidas.
Right?
That blew everybody's mind, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that was a great song. Korn, I got a guitar from them. I went to the concerts. I got to hang out with them. But, not being mean, it just wasn't. They weren't my favorite. I like Korn. But
one day I'm going to get leukemia. I'm going to be in my stage 4. I'll be laying there with my bald head and shriveled about 95 pounds. And Kelly's go, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Give me your Korn guitar. That's what I want."
I'll bring it and I'll let him strum a chord.
Before I pass, come on. You don't even like Monkey like I like Monkey. Did you get it from Head or Monkey?
They're
the white guy or the Mexican?
When I walked out, no, I know who they are. Monkey left him kind of early too, didn't he?
No, Head did.
I mean, Head, yeah.
Head did
because Monkey's the bass, Head's the
No,
guitar.
Monkey's rhythm and Head is lead. And the other one.
Fildy was bass, yeah.
The bassist.
No, but see how they gave me the guitar was, I got back, we BS'd, and I was with the guys and everything else, and then I walked out and I was going back up to the arena, down to the Cabelli Center in Youngstown, and then the tour manager came out with the guitar and was like, "Here, this is for you." And like, holy shit toast.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
They do that. They give guitars.
I'm going to have to go talk to my buddies, like Chris Shefflett with Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a long talk with him because he did not give me no guitar. I'm going to have a talk with my guys at Buck Cherry.
Yeah, you have to get him on the show, too.
I'm going to tell him, listen, I worked you guys out the day of your show. I trained you. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning and went to the boxing gym out of training and caught pads with all you guys, and you couldn't give me no guitar.
I don't think they thought of it. But
I know.
Tell Chris Shiflett to steal one of Dave Grohl's. That'd be hilarious.
I possibly could do that.
Oh, Dave Grohl is one of our friends on Instagram now. He's following us.
Yeah.
On Twitter, yeah, he's following us. So, obviously, you guys are still friends. You can get him on the show.
Oh, we get Dave. Dave's actually from where we're doing this show right now here in Warren.
Yeah.
Dave they actually, not too long ago, named the street after him.
Yeah, he said he was born in Niles, right? And he
Warren.
went to Boardman High School.
I don't think he went to Boardman. I'm not sure on that.
I think his parents went to Boardman.
I think his parents did. But he's a Warren boy.
Wow.
But, well, we're going to wrap it up, man.
It was fun.
It was a good show.
Times, good show.
Yep. And we will be back at you guys. Yeah. Ooh. Ghosts.
Why is it ghosts and not ghostes?
Well, just because it sounds stupid.
No, I don't.
Ghostesses.
Hey, look at all the ghostesses out. Yeah, I guess it does.
Don't they call you the ghost?
Yes, they do.
They call him the ghost.
Why do they call you the ghost?
Because he didn't want to pay child support.
Believe me, if I didn't pay child support, you guys would see another freaking 4-day headline.
Oh yeah, no, you. It's funny. You live at home and still pay child support.
Right?
Yeah.
The ghost nickname. It was in the amateurs. I believe it or not, I was a real slick fighter. That's how I ended up getting as far as I did in the amateurs. In the amateurs, you don't get that far by being a power puncher. Knockouts are very few and far in between in the amateurs. I was a slick fighter and fast. I got to the pros. If you go back, if anybody wants to go back, watch my early fights. I boxed. I was in and out, hand speed. The kids in Cleveland team might have been because I was white, but also they just started calling me Ghost. And then I came home and I was watching the film, and my brother was watching. He goes, "Damn, man!" He's like, "You're like a ghost in there." And it was just kind of a coincidence, more so than anything. And nobody really had the nickname Ghost.
Right.
Nobody really. That's not a big nickname now. Robert the Ghost Guerrero is the only other one that has it.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of catchy, and it stuck. Nobody had it, and we went from there with it.
Well, ironically, April was saying how you could feel that presence on your chest. So I guess you leave a presence on someone's chest.
When I was in 10th grade, I made a little, what do you call that, quote, for, or saying for being nicknamed the Ghost.
There's no known cure for a bite of a penguin.
Once you feel the presence, it's too late. I like that. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then there's the odor.
Maybe that's why.
Hey, that's just my BO.
Maybe that's why I didn't have the amateur career I would have liked, because I was more of a puncher. I hit hard.
Yeah.
And me and Kelly, we test that out every chance we get. We see a punch machine, like, let's go punch it.
Hit it. And it's not even accurate, but
It don't matter.
but it's still you could tell how accurate when you hit it. James hits it hard. So
I hit hard I have a good left hook.
Yeah.
And your straight right is amazing. So it's not accurate, but it's fun to do. And it scares the people in the.
Oh yeah, everybody stops and looks. I try going in, trying to be quiet. I don't want people seeing me hitting this freaking bag.
Like, it's Kelly Pavlik punching a
Yeah,
bag.
so everybody flocks to it. Because I'm a big kid. Like if there is a Golden Tee game, or if there is anything there that's playable, I'm on it. I'm competitive. Skee ball, shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm on it, and so I see the boxing game. Of course, I want to go over there and punch it. And so me and James go and we start hitting it, and we sneak over too, like idiots, like nobody's gonna know it's us. Not thinking like the fact that we're gonna hit this thing, it's gonna shake the entire building, And of course,
machine moves.
Yeah, we hit it. We go up here, and you see, and then
900s, thousands.
and everybody in a 10,000 square foot building on the other side
Came over.
heads all turn over, look, and start walking
They're
down.
over here, and they're over here with They're over here with their phones like this while Kelly's punching it. I'm like, yep, that's going on somebody's Facebook.
I'm like, James, we might as well just walk in there with like Adidas jumpsuits on and bandanas and
With
be like,
your chord song in the background.
have a ghetto blaster on our shoulder and be like, yo, we about to hit this machine.
Or what about you should just had your chord song come on the background?
Yeah, you can do that.
Run up in that gold in the gold trunks, the gold outfit.
Yeah, or the
Who
Ohio
has that
State.
outfit? The gold one.
We got it, homie.
That was the best outfit you had.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, and this is props to my dad.
Your dad picked those, didn't he?
He did every pair of trunks.
Your dad was a fashion designer.
Yeah, and he would get the trunks and he would get like a piece of it, probably 2 weeks in a training camp, 3 weeks. And he'd be like, dude, what do you think about this? Now he wouldn't say dude, he'd be like, hey Kelly, what do you think about this? And I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't, and I didn't have the heart, because that's like what he liked doing. And I didn't have the heart to be like, oh, that's bad. And a couple of times I'm like, Dad, I'm not sure, man. He goes, no, listen. He goes, just wait till you see it on the trunks. Okay, don't. This is what I'm going with. Just wait till you see it on the trunks. And and then he would get the trunks in like the week before they would get done making them. And I tell you what, man, they were just awesome. So what he's seen in his head, you know, he couldn't show me. So I think it would have been better off if he just wouldn't have showed me anything because I'm sitting there kind of like worried about it.
And you said put these on. You said just say put these on.
Put these on, try them out, and I'd be like, holy shit!
It beats what we had to wear in the amateurs.
Oh, I know. I mean, I never got one of those. I never got the Adidas.
No.
I always wanted them, you know, and that, like I said,
They used to give us on the national team.
Yeah, on the national teams, but again, I was with JOs and you don't really make a national team.
Yeah.
And I loved all the Adidas styles that they had out.
The tank tops with the USA Boxing in the center, the little USA Boxing symbol.
I ended up getting a pair of hand-me-downs from James McClendon, who fought out in my gym, and he was ranked. He'd go over to like Budapest, Hungary fought in the Pan Am games.
Yeah.
He was what I was telling you about the fight, Jason Ingle Watson all the time. And he ended up getting a new pair. You know, they supported him with the new, equipped him with trunks, and he gave me his pair of
they give you two colors for what side of the ring you're going to be on.
Yeah. And I took those. I thought I was...
Like home and visitor?
No, red and blue corner.
I thought I was cool as a breeze when I had the Adidas ones.
Oh, yeah, you do,
Nobody's beating me.
Well, the red corner means you're in the championship corner.
I see.
And the blue corner means you're kind of in the challenger corner. But you don't know what corner you're going to draw yet. So what happens is when you go there, Adidas will give you 2 color tops.
Nice.
And 2 color trunks.
Yeah.
So your corner. So you'll know what corner you belong in. Because one day you might fight in the red. And your next fight, because tournaments could be 3 to 5 fights, you could be in the blue corner the next day.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, it's pretty. And then a lot of times we ended up giving that stuff away to other kids who could have, because a lot of kids in the gym couldn't afford gloves and couldn't afford those things. He'd give the stuff away. But yeah, other than that, I had a great time.
All right. Well,
good show.
Thank you.
We're going to wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
We'll be in touch with you.
All right. It was nice talking to everybody, and see you soon.
Punchline! Put you in the ring.
Dude, what can I do for shin splints, dude?
Nothing, man. I had that.
Dude, it's terrible.
I had it so bad in California. The only thing, I don't know what you can really do.
I do this at rest and ice.
Yeah, you can ice them, but shin splints, I don't know what ice really does. Your shin's not a muscle or.
But what's next to it? Like right in here, I mean, that's muscle right here. I don't know.
It's right on the bone, right?
They say, it's bone. I mean,
it's a thin muscle on the bone.
I got a lot of muscle around my shins, dude.
You do have muscular shins, I must say.
You hear that, Kelly? How muscular I am?
Those are some fine-looking shins.
More muscular than Kelly's shins, huh?
Yeah, I haven't seen Kelly's shins. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say anything bad about your shins.
That's your shins.
Those are some nice shins.
His were definitely bigger.
Yeah, I think you must be working them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, stand next to me. I just started hitting mine.
Dude, you're bigger than me, dude. You're bigger.
No,
I got bigger. Yeah, I got bigger.
I don't think your calves are...
Nice definition of your calves there, Kelly.
I don't know how much bigger they are. They're bigger than mine, but I don't think they're much bigger.
Yeah.
They're kind of like fat.
There you go.
You got cankles.
I don't even, man, I'm not
say that
I'm not physical at all.
He did at a high point the other day.
You do got cankles, though, man.
No.
What's a cankle?
That was like all one. You know, like when people get like their calves go down and get
no, my left ankle's injured.
He's got like fat ankles.
Oh, yeah. It's, I was born with naturally large calves.
You are. A lot of people are. That's why I'm working the shit out of mine. I'll get big like my back, shoulders. Shit like that is big. I got a bird chest.
What's a bird chest?
Like no chest, like small.
Just it almost
legs.
concave.
Yeah, legs. I look like I'm riding a chicken. I got the skinny ass, genetically skinny legs. So like when I work out, I gotta like a lot of people they'll fuck around because everybody hates doing legs, but some people can get away with doing like once a week. Sometimes they'll even pass it up. Like Tyler, he's the type of kid that he could probably miss a week and just do all upper body and be fine because genetically he has bigger legs. Me, I gotta hit him twice a week and I gotta pound him until I can't walk just to get And I got to do like all different types. Like I got to hit the small muscles. I got to hit the big muscles. So like I'm doing heavy, pounding out heavy. Then I got to go down like rep. And then with lightweight, do all these other like cardio that women do. like work my hip flexors and work this just to. And that's the thing people don't understand. That's what, like my knowledge in weightlifting, how to get the size of shit. People go and they go, I'm not growing. It's because you're doing the same.
Oh, they're not a variety.
Yeah, you get like everything in your leg helps the other. So like when you hit your hip flexors, man, that's helping get your hips in the side of your legs, and then that actually makes your thigh and your hamstrings big, your leg bigger, because that's the part that goes right down the side of your legs too. Little muscles that you can't hit from doing squats or leg press or leg curls, and so what it does, like here on the arms. You definitely want to hit your biceps and your triceps, like curls, shit like that. But there's certain exercises that hit like right in the middle, that little bone muscle in the middle, which actually, what it does is makes your triceps and your biceps look bigger.
So it's not like the definition; it's just the bulk underneath.
Yeah, like certain muscles that
it out.
Yeah, that help. And you ain't got to go heavy on it. Like the exercise I do for that, and I'll on buys, I'll fucking 65, 70-pound dumbbells. I'll curl I'll pound the tries, but then like at the end I'll burn out and I'll get like 25, 30-pound dumbbells and I'll do these and then I turn them over and go down real slow. And that hits.
That just sounds
so you go
painful.
Like this and then
right in the elbow.
Turn them and you hit your forearms. Yeah, bring them down because going down slow is the main thing.
Those are like arm shins, right?
Yeah, barbell or
no, I mean
dumbbells.
It's still like the shins of your arm. Like when you go down, that's what you're working is like.
Well, yeah, but that's what you're hitting in here because when you turn that like that, and then you're coming down, you're using that too. Right there. There's just a lot of different ones like that you could hit to expand it. Oh no, you're on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
We're in Ohio.
Oh, we're in Youngstown.
What's the difference?
No, you were in Trumbull County. You're on a Warren.
I knew how to get them going. I know how to get you going.
Youngstown's bad, then.
Yeah, it's a tough town.
Bad. Yeah, I've been all over this fucking.
I lived in Detroit for 12 years.
It is I think it's every bit as bad, if not worse. I mean, you could actually Google it and pull up like most dangerous dangerous cities per capita.
No way, Youngstown.
Dude,
Youngstown's up there.
In 2001, 2, and 3, they actually, that's how sad Youngstown is, though. It's nothing to brag about. They have T-shirts made, murder capital of the world, and it had Youngstown, Ohio, and then it says "come back." It has a picture of a machine gun, and it says "come back, we missed you the first time," or something like that. Yeah, it was bad. It's gotten bad, but the violent crimes and everything else, it ranks right now like top 10. Obviously, top 10 most depressing cities. It's in there. Fucking used to be nice when I was a kid, man. It was like my street, my area. It was tough. Yeah, tough kids, but it was still safe. It was nice to grow up in. As I got older, man, it just started getting worse. And he knows, like, we used to hang out on South Avenue, and it was bad 5 years ago. And even now, like, South Avenue is fucking. I told James and my buddy Roger, they were like, "Don't." When I went to California to train Oxnard, they're like, "Yeah, man, be careful going to Dr. Anderson's office." Hood, man. I actually started laughing. I was driving there and I seen people, and it's the hood for Oxnard. There were like these old Mexican guys on bicycles with like little baskets in the front of their bike, and they were selling candy bars and potato chips. I said, that would not make it 5 minutes. Can you imagine him driving down by riding on a bike by Coconut Grove, and going down by Civics on that bicycle? Him and that bike would be gone before the chips.
Yeah, if you had any money on him too.
Yeah.
I didn't actually live in Detroit. I lived on 9 Mile Road, which was like a mile outside. But if you ever went down to Detroit, it was just so many just vacant spaces that if you saw someone, they're probably just as scared of you as you were then, because didn't expect to see anybody.
Detroit's no joke, man. When I say that, like, I'm not going, oh, yeah, because when I say that, I mean they're all hoods. I go up to Cleveland. I'll be hanging out on South Avenue. We'd be hanging out there in hood, like I was just saying, where I grew up. And then go up to Cleveland and be about a hood. Now, if you're not familiar with it, you're afraid, man. You're like, even if it's not like really a bad hood, but you're just It's not your hood.
Yeah.
You don't know. You know.
You don't know where you are,
Yeah,
or if something happens, where you're gonna go, or.
Exactly.
And then the worst part of that is like other people can kind of smell that on you.
Yeah, they
So
can.
if you're afraid, that just makes you a target.
Yeah, or if you ask just a simple question like, "Hey, where is this place at?" They're gonna know that you're not from that area. You know.
That's right.
And
But you know, I had this weird experience. Like I moved to Detroit, but I grew up in the South. So when I was in Detroit, I just was the Southern guy, and people there are just like, if they don't know you, they don't talk to you. So I was like, "Hi, what's your name?" You know, and I found that when I'd walk in like neighborhoods that are kind of tough, I just had kind of a smile on my face. I was looking people in the eye. I was being very Southern like that, like you know. So then people are like, "Oh, he's not here to do bad stuff, right?" Where if you walk in, you got your head down and you're looking all shady.
yeah, suspect.
Right. Then everyone's like, "What are you doing in my neighborhood?" And so a lot of that is just a projection that people like. You create the dangerous situation by expecting it to happen.
But you know, it kind of sucks in the same way because you're not doing it. You know, me personally, if I go somewhere, sometimes I kind of keep my head down. Sometimes I kind of keep it up. You know, I don't know. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not making no statement. I'm just being me.
Right.
You are on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say I'm sorry I was late today. I was in the dentist chair, and right in the middle, the dentist telling me I'm gonna have to have a tooth. What do you call that when they drill out your tooth?
Canal.
Yeah, a root canal. So he's going like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to give you a root canal, maybe 2." And then my wife sends me a photograph with a flat tire. She's got kids in the car. It was like a crazy day.
Did they give you any drugs?
No, they had to schedule me to come back. It was too much pain in one time. But I was just wondering, Kelly, if you had to like choose between like getting a tooth drilled or getting your face drilled in the ring, which do you think is more painful?
His ass.
All depends where you get hit.
True.
Hit with a liver shot or a snout shot.
Or there's that one shot where it's right under the nose and right above your chin, right there. Oh, yeah.
But a root canal
was
ain't no
bad.
joke either. But see, the only good thing about that is, as soon as you get
drugs.
it, they put the either like Novocaine on there temporarily, then shoot you up with some good pain
They
medicine.
give you the drugs first, and then they hurt you versus in the ring.
Yeah.
they
In
hurt
boxing,
and then
you
give
get
you
hit
drugs after.
and you get hurt, and it could be in the first round. And if it's a real title fight, you got 35 more minutes of
It's just
getting punched in that, or and you can't call timeout. And hey, coach, I'm going to sit out this play your next play. Hold on.
right.
You go there and you could have a broken hand and a fucked up nose. You could have the air knocked out of you in the third round. You could have a whole shitload of problems going on, and you got to get through it until the final bell rings, or you could just quit. But that don't happen much.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, obviously, I would say I'd rather get punched in the face because if I was in boxing getting it done, I'd be getting paid for it.
Versus paying someone else to drill
somebody
your
else
teeth.
to fuck your gum line up.
Actually, you get more used to getting hit than you do getting root canals.
No, you get used to it. You get used to like the shots to the head, but you don't get used to your snout.
No, you don't get used to that, but you do get that skin toughened up.
You know what he did is he stuck this Q-tip in like some dry ice or something. And it's got really cold, and he stuck it on a tooth. They're like, that hurts. And he goes, "Does this hurt?" He goes, "I go, yeah, man."
Caleb,
that
it
hurts."
sounds more like he should have probably just gave you a Midol and some tampons.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. It was. I wasn't expecting to get that news. It was a kind of a rough day.
Listen, teeth ain't going to a dentist. Teeth ain't nothing to mess around with. If it's like when they pull your wisdom tooth or root canals, I mean that is like some of the most painful. You ask anybody, that's why everybody's afraid to go to dentist. People ain't afraid to go to dentist because they're going to go get a little prick and get some blood drawn. They're afraid because they go in, that motherfucker hurts.
Yeah.
Right in the nerve, just drilling that nerve out.
Yeah.
I had a good dentist. I had a woman dentist. She was really hot. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it made a difference for me.
Did you feel more relaxed?
I felt more relaxed, and you didn't want to cry out in pain in front of this hot woman. You know what I mean?
It made you tougher.
I was always like, oh, you're going to give me some for this. Oh, you're going to give me some for this.
No, she made you comfortable. She talked about other things besides what's going on with your jacked up teeth, which I liked.
I had this dentist in Hawaii, and I swear I thought she was like a sadomasochist because she kept like she was smiling when I was like twitching from like she'd dig in her little pointy metal thing right in my gum, and I was like, oh, and then she's like, I saw this smile behind her eyes. I was like, this lady, she really likes this job, man. She's like getting paid to hurt people.
Yeah.
For like big money paid to hurt people on a regular basis.
What was that movie with Steve Martin about being a dentist? Do you remember that? You don't remember that?
She probably didn't make you feel comfortable at all. Him being a dentist?
Yeah, Steve Martin was a dentist.
I don't know.
I remember The Running Man where Dustin Hoffman's like on the run and then the Nazi guy like captures him and they need to get the information out of him. And they and he's a dentist.
I remember that.
The Nazi dentist guy. I mean, you're like combining two like major
hate factors.
And hate factors.
The two hate factors of fear, right there.
The Nazi dentist.
Yeah.
You know?
Or what about Dr. Detroit with Dan Aykroyd? You never seen that? He was a pimp and a dentist.
Well, because the gold teeth were at a discount. That's pretty.
I don't know. He's like, ma'am, I'm going to rip off your head and down your neck.
Is that vertical or horizontal integration, pimp and dentistry?
It has to be. It has to be like off of like a tree branch. You know what I mean? It's not. They don't go together.
Yeah, I guess it's diversification.
Most pimps don't care about natural dentistry. I don't think.
Like diamonds in your
teeth, but that ruins your teeth. They don't care about that. It's
all that ice.
It's all about the look.
Have all that ice up in your grill.
I don't know how people do it. There's no way I'd want them to put some gold or anything in there.
They say that makes your breath stink a lot more too.
Yeah, is it legal in the ring to have like metal in your teeth?
Yeah, they can have metal in their teeth.
Someone like smacked you in some gold. Was that like more?
The mouthpiece, the mouthpiece you have takes care of most of that stuff. It covers it up.
I mean, I would imagine it would probably be.
Broner wears gold like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, would it be easier to knock it out, or would it hurt more when it jars against the gum line?
I don't know, but you can't have braces. A lot of those boxers go to Invisalign now because you can't have braces and fight.
Oh, because they will cut you up.
Oh, they'll just break and be a nasty mess.
Punchline! Kelly Pavlik, James Dominguez. The Punchline! Boxing's most interesting talk show. Puts you in the ring.